Dogs that will send you to dog backwards. Oh, I get it, because dog backwards is not funny. Okay, that was a little bit funny. That was a little bit funny. But yeah, okay, I don't know what's up with this Lee's dog. Yo, if you have a dog like this and I walk in your house and you come to me and say, her name is Bubbles and she never bites, she's never bitten anybody, I will never trust you. I hope you know that. I will never trust you. Bro, my cousin's got one dog like this, and dude, it scared the living shit out of me when I first saw it. I still kind of get scared being around it. At first, when it came up to me, okay, everybody knows, bro, it's not a weird thing to say, all right? But like, it started like sniffing my crotch, I guess, to like tries to like track the human sense, so it could like track me and like recognize me in the future and shit. Like, let's say I walked in my cousin's house and it was like pitch black at night or something. The dog's in like attack mode. Then like, you know, if it didn't do that, then it would have attacked me, right? I'm pretty sure that's a normal thing dogs do. Maybe it's just the dogs I'm around, but I swear every time I'm around a dog, bro, new for the first time, it always ends up going for my nutsack, bro. I've noticed, bro, dogs have just been getting bigger and bigger. It's actually scary. Like, there's this one meme about this dog, and it's like, that MF gotta pay rent. Like, dog, this is the meme. Do you see this dog? I didn't even know they could breed dogs this big. It's probably taller than some humans out there. Probably taller than Simone Biles. You can't tell me this dog wouldn't beat the shit out of any human alive right now in a 1v1. And like, dude, I think they just started giving dogs like more and more stronger food and stuff. It's like the food just gets stronger and stronger. They get bigger and bigger. They breed dogs. They're not even supposed to breed together, by the way. The reason why you'll see a lot of up pugs that just can barely breathe is because they've breeded them for so long, and they're not supposed to exist pretty much. It's kind of sad. It's like, imagine humans just started breeding with like a bunch of different monkeys and apes, and like after like 100 years or something, you just end up with an amalgamation of like a human, monkey, ape, gorilla, like some crazy shit like that. Anyways, let's see this video.
These are the dogs I would take the leash off and
like, look at this, bruh. Yo, lady, give the piece of meat to the dog. Dead. Acting like he won't rip off your head.
Walk you, because a lot of y'all have gotten way too confident. I've said it before, but one way to see how a guy's mind works is to ask him, what's the biggest animal you could beat in a fight? And if you want to see how highly he thinks of himself, ask him.
Let's see. Okay, 6% of Americans think they could beat a grizzly bear in a fight. You know what this is given? This is given. What was that one thing they had on TikTok? Oh, I'd rather be in the forest with a bear than a man. Like, y'all this is not winning against a fucking bear, bro. I don't know what y'all think this is. Me personally, I would probably win. Like, in these type of scenarios, I would win because I feel like I have the strength and necessary training to actually do this. You know, I was a Boy Scout for like 5 years growing up. Like, a rat right there, that's pretty easy. Anybody could beat a rat. A house cat, yes. A lion? Hold up. Wait. Lion? Oh, y'all got it fucked up, bro. I'd take a grizzly bear way over a lion, dude. A lion would just straight up like rip your head off clean, bro. I mean, a grizzly bear, it would be like slowly just rip your skin off. That's kind of actually, that might be worse. And then a gorilla, a king cobra, dude, it could just wrap itself around your neck and strangle you, and you're done for. Or just bite you, just a little bite, and then run away.
What's the biggest dog he could take down? Or if there's even one alive that he couldn't. TikTok has taught me a majority of y'all are KOing anything canine. Allegedly. Now, in their defense, there's over 350 breeds of dogs, and the average man is bodying most of them. Dogs are built for friendship, some quite literally, and they're descended from a pack hunter who really isn't about to—
It's kind of crazy how dogs went from like this wild breed of the wolves, pretty much. Just, well, I mean, wolves are wild dogs. All dogs came from being that, and then we took them over. We made them free. It's kind of crazy. Us humans are great people. Hey guys, Tom NFG here. You know, only half of you guys are subscribed and even less of you guys have noties on. I hate to be a burden, but you know, I really appreciate it if you hit that sub button and the little bell next to it. You know, it doesn't take long. I know you can get mixed up in the algorithm and everything. But yeah, also tune into the streams. You know, we have a lot of fun over there. I'm telling you, we have a lot of parties going on over there. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Damn. Because real talk, what would dogs be doing without us? Dude, dogs had it rough, bro. They were already like in the whole predator cycle or nature cycle. They already were like pretty low. Like anything could take them. A bear could take them down. A fucking lion, elephant, anything could, and just like eat them. We helped them for real.
One-on-ones. Plus, dogs have one real way of delivering damage, and unless they have the size to make up for it, most dogs can't go band for band with the average man. The thing about size.
Yeah, see, if you have one of these dogs, I can't trust you. I know some of y'all got a couple. Actually, these are normal. These aren't bad. These aren't bad.
Some canines are big.
What the fuck? Nigga, canine, that's Clifford the dog. Dead ass, bro. If I ever walked to somebody's house and I seen this, dude, I would just immediately walk out. How could I even, like, meet this thing? It would just maul me. Plain and simple maul me if it saw me. It's like, there's no way it wouldn't.
Big enough to take you off the registry. Once dogs hit that 140 to 150 pound range, they go from a loud inconvenience to something whose free will could potentially put you in a dirt motel. Bigger than that, and you got the kind of dog where every breath you take is by his blessing. Real quick, this isn't to demonize any breed or inspire you to test your luck against your dog. Right. And also, don't take this too seriously. I know Fantasy Fight Club loves hills to die on, but first we got the
Okay, Kangle. Origin Turkey. I didn't know Kangles were from Turkey. I low-key don't even know what this dog looks like. With dog breeds, because I never had a dog, I only be knowing, like, you know, the names.
The Kangle Shepherd is a Turkish Fido flex bred as a livestock guardian dog against jackals, wolves, and bears. Males on average get from 110 to 100.
I feel like they have these, like, as just pets, though, right? Like, they don't always have to be trained to fight.
50 pounds, but ask around. Someone will tell you about their 180-pound attitude adjustment. An important distinction is that these aren't herding dogs. They're guarding dogs. The canine insurance policy pretty much are part of the herd, and any predators that flock around very quickly find out. Kangles will defend theirs in any—
It's kind of wholesome how, like, animals defend other animals. I mean, it's only doing it because, like, a human told it to. Like, the human said, all right, if you defend these animals, you get food. Bro, they really just be fighting for food. They have no other reason, bro. It's kind of crazy. Like, imagine if dogs were more sentient and they started learning about, like, salary and wages and overtime, and what if they just formed a union on some shit? Who knows, bro? Hey, in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if they start planting, like, chips inside dogs' brains and stuff to communicate easier with us.
Made a Cerberus prefers intimidation. They'll catch a clean body if it gets there. The catch is, since Kangles are built to defend the defenseless, they're unironic.
Bro, like, look at the size of that thing compared to the kid, dude. Imagine one day it just crashed out and it'd be over, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody in the family would be able to defend it against it. Not even the dad, bro.
Really good with children. But with a temper more trigger happy than the state of Texas, nothing steps to a member of a Kangle's herd without getting read in an obituary. Apparently, some Kangles have snapped at their owners for getting too close to their own sheep.
Oh,
with
hell
Kangles
no.
having the strongest bite of any dog at an alleged 743 pounds per square inch, a snap from a helicoptering horsehound hits much different. They're so protective, they even protect some of the predators they were hired against. In Namibia, ranchers—
It's crazy how humans would just be, like, inferior in the wild. Like, you got even a dog, bro. A simple dog like this, a stronger breed, but, like, it has, like, crazy bite force and everything. What do we have, bro? What do we have? Literally, bro, muscles, I guess. You could take the biggest bodybuilder, it wouldn't matter, bro. They get mauled by a lion in seconds. If we didn't have weapons or nothing, our consciousness, our brains weren't, like, super advanced, we'd be cooked, bro, in the wild. We'd be absolutely cooked.
and cheetahs share an area code. And in a world where a dead cow can set your entire family back, many cheetahs become chalk outlines in the name of asset protection. But having Kangles and Anatolians on site, which as far as I understand are Americanized Kangles, the cheetahs get run off by canine conflict resolution before the ranchers have to reach for a permanent solution. The Kangle option actually reduced cheetah trappings and killings by 80%, and in some places they're providing the same deterrent service to wolves. So all in all, they're still a good dog, just not for everyone. And not just because they need space, experience, and most importantly, a purpose. They need discipline, because gentle parenting means—
Bro, like, this is so insane.
Turkish tank rips your arm out of the socket the first time he sees a squirrel. This fluffy boulder would send you back to the—
What the fuck is this? That is not a dog. That's not a dog. That's a demon, bro. Seriously, I ain't never seen a dog ever make that face. If I ever see a dog ever make that face at me, I'm just gonna go ahead and say a prayer, because I know it's gonna be my last time on Earth. Is there any reason we have dogs this big in the world?
The mountains they spawn from. Forged in the mountains of Caucasus, the Caucasian Shepherd is also called the Russian Bear Dog, even though they're not Russian, and you're liable for a lecture if you call them that in front of the wrong person. They also weren't bred to hunt—
Hear me out, hear me out. Take this dog to the hottest part of Texas. I feel like that's only appropriate for it, you know? I really enjoy it here, real talk.
Even though they're not Russian, and you're liable for a lecture if you call them that in front of the wrong person. They also weren't bred to hunt bears. They're also livestock life insurance. It's just that calorie blocking a bear might just come with a job.
See, this is insane, Aura. I need one of these dogs. Because I always hear people talking about bear talk, whatever, this and that. If you encounter a bear, I'm gonna need one, because clearly this thing would handle it for me.
The blow-dry Tasmanian devil comes in two forms: the longer-coated mountain type and the shorter-coated steppe version. The mountain brand are the big boys, and usually the ones that can get to over 200 pounds. And I promise you, you are not choking out a Wolverine on creatine with war experience. The dog, also called the ovcharka, was used in World War II as Soviet Union guards that would gatekeep Soviet gulags. So they might not send you there, but they'll keep you in its custody. So even though they didn't originate in Russia, before the Soviet Union developed an atomic bomb, they mobilized a furry nuke in the form of Fido. Also, a good amount would patrol the Berlin—
Crazy how nowadays that dog would do absolutely nothing. Just get obliterated on the warfield. Like, nowadays it's just lasers and bombs. It just get incinerated.
Wall. And after the wall came down and the dogs were adopted out, many of the veterans would suddenly remember their orders whenever near the past tense wall and would robotically walk in obedience to a wall that wasn't there. So yeah, folks messed around and created an absolute unit of a sleeper agent, and it isn't until you have about 200 pounds of dog resisting your—
Oh my god, it's fighting a dog. Look at the size difference.
So that you realize with the amounts of—
You can't fight that little ass dog. My bad. If you know, you know.
Caucasus were cooking. There's a reason this domesticated bear is used in Russian prisons. Imagine packs of ovcharkas roaming the city of Berlin at the expense of anyone unlucky enough to run into them. Well, you don't need imagination. For one of the dogs next, it's a reality.
This
is honestly the first place my mind went.
Oh my god. It's literally a demon. Look at its eyes. It's a demon. His eyes are glowing red. Why would anybody own this, dude?
After hearing about the man versus dog debate, you tell him this.
Bro, there's no point in a man versus dog debate when dogs like this exist. The average man can take on the average dog. Any of these dogs, no.
He looks at you like this. What is your next move? Daikujo decides to climb on your couch where he knows he's not allowed. What is your vehicle of retribution? I pray it's not a rolled up newspaper. He gonna make you a
Nah, he's not asking the right questions. You gotta ask this dude slap your girl ass. What you doing? What you doing right after?
is not allowed. What is your vehicle of retribution? I pray it's not a rolled up newspaper. He gonna make you a small section of the next one. Latin is like a linguistic black light that tells the full story of a word, and when you shine it on Kangle Corso, canis is dog, and Corso or cohors refers to guard, specifically a military guard dog. Corsos, or actually Corsi, are kind of the guard dog, and they're descended from ancient Roman war dogs known as Canis pugnax. For Corsi, the Italian Mastiff would attack enemy lines in battle with buckets of flaming, scalding hot oil strapped to their backs. Fun fact, in my culture, cani is the name of a spice you put on dishes, and to me it's all good, but to someone who's never had it before or doesn't know how to handle it, it can be an overseasoned assault on the senses. Same story with the uber black of dogs. Handle them wrong and they're a one-way trip straight.
Look at this, bro. Like, look at the way he's scheming.
To Valhalla. And with many over 120 pounds, I do believe every conscious breath you take is with
Bro, like, that is a grown-ass man. You can't tell me it's not a grown-ass man.
their consent. Again, they're guard dogs that protect their pack, and within it, they're docile family dogs that you can trust with the kids. But the same dog that can tear a wild boar in half like a phone book would absolutely turn you into coffin fodder in a fight. This might be the most underrated dog out here. First time I saw one, I genuinely thought it was a customized Kane, and while they look similar, add up
This
to
kind of just looks like a normal pit bull.
and often over 140 pounds, the Bressa Canario is somehow tankier than the canine Italian stallion. Don't get it twisted, the Spanish Mastiff off the Canary Islands is 404ing most men. They just might have been brought over by Spanish conquistadors, and they were admired for their intelligence, toughness, and like
Yeah, now the way he's standing in the fur, you got aura right there. You got aura. You could tell he's like the real alpha, leads the pack. Why do I know this? Because I'm the real alpha and I lead the pack. I mean, you knew it was coming. Come on, let's be serious. I got the lion sound effect on here. Haven't used it in a while. You knew it was coming.
toughness, and like a fitted sheet, they won't fold. But they were also bred specifically to exterminate wild or stray dogs. And that's something I'm gonna touch on later, because LGDs like Ovchakas, they're not meant to murk predators, just discourage them. They bred the Presa Canario to erase other dogs. That's basically a canine assassin. The hired gun was also a
Why do they even do that though? I don't get it, bro. They created like a Bucky for dogs.
character in dogfighting rings, even after it was criminalized. Because of this, the pride of the Canary Islands almost went
Man, if I'm in a dogfight thing and somebody brings somebody like this, I know I'm losing.
extinct in the 60s. Luckily,
dog
a
like
breed
this?
society, Club Español de Presa Canario, was formed, and they came up with a breed standard. The standard was approved in '89, and the Presa Canario was recognized as the official dog of the Canary Islands. The goal was to help the Presa make a comeback, and today they're still going strong. They have a lifespan that can last over a decade, despite all the nerfs that come with being a big dog. Which means we're talking about the dog that has fought its own kind, its
Ew,
own
look at the slobber.
biology, and literal extinction. Not the type I want to start problems with. Now let the record show that the muscle of canary is the equivalent of a canine wet wipe around family, but any burglars getting blacklisted from the census. Once upon a time, a zoo in China caught heat for trying to pass off a dog as an African lion.
Only in China, bruh. Something like this would happen, bruh. God damn, like, is it that hard for y'all to get an actual real lion, bruh? Dude, your citizens ain't suffering enough. They get paid like 50 cents an hour. And then finally on their day off with their goddamn family, they go to see this. And they see a dog instead of a lion at the zoo.
Oh, it didn't last long, and they were for sure wrong, but when you squint at a Tibetan Mastiff, you see their inspiration. This wolfy mammoth is one of the
You could easily tell this is not a lion though, bruh. I mean, the fur, I get it, yeah, but like the nose is right there. Nobody's getting tricked by this.
oldest dog breeds alive, and they were used to protect Buddhist monasteries and Tibetan monks from apex threats like wolves, bears, and snow leopards. Traditionally, the hound of the Himalayas would sleep all day and patrol the villages at night, so if you take in a Tibetan Mastiff, you may find their habits nocturnal. They're built different. I'm talking genetically sequenced abnormally. Back in the day, Tibetan Mastiffs were bred with Tibetan wolves because the dogs have a special protein that helps red blood cells carry oxygen 50% more efficiently. This mutation does not appear in other dogs, but you do see it in the Tibetan subspecies of gray wolf, which is why the sentient hair salon pile can survive such a high altitude.
Why does it have such cool hair? Yo, other dogs, y'all suck. I'm not gonna lie. Get some drip like these dogs.
It's not hard to see how a full-grown literal Clifford can send wolves running. And that's what I wanted to mention. These are guardian dogs, not attack dogs. They don't want you dead, necessarily. Just gone. They're not out here looking for smoke, and if you have one, you'll find that the most dangerous thing about them is the constant slaughtering can be a slip hazard. But there's a catch. The Tibetan Mastiff wasn't just insurance, they were a status symbol, especially in China.
I mean, it does look cool, that makes sense.
Named Big Splash sold for $1.5 million.
Ah, damn.
Physically and financially.
Okay, not worth that much.
The problem is, like all fads, the TM hype faded fast, and the outcome was more abandoned Mastiffs than anyone knew what to do with. Except the dogs. The Tibetan persuasion started forming feral packs where they've killed livestock, hunted native Borbull sheep, and even attacked ancient enemies like snow leopards, bears, and now even humans. Now we've got thousands of feral Uber dogs roaming the Tibetan plateau, making life air-conditioned hell for snow leopards and—
Damn, look at this. The fact that even the leopard is scared too. God, I love nature though, bro. Like, something about like nature and their fur and the patterns, that's just so cool.
Putting paws and jaws in any people that happen to cross their paths. It's basically what happened to pigeons in America, but I've never seen a pigeon lil bro a wolf. I don't know what's with all the videos of Tibetan Mastiffs and wolves.
I feel like if you got enough pigeons, they could do that. Especially the pigeons in New York, yeah. Those aren't normal pigeons. Those are New York pigeons. Man, they transformed, bro. They transform into a different being. They're damn near like 20% human now. But if you got enough of them, they could take down like a dog. 300 pigeons or something, just like clawing at a dog. At 300 might be pushing it. You might even need less, to be honest.
In the same place, but I have not seen one where the dog doesn't completely bully the, albeit smaller, Asian wolves. And speaking of wolves, at least the wild ones are afraid of humans. We genetically engineered—
I actually did not know that. Okay, that's good to know. If I see a wolf, I'ma yell at it.
A weapon of mass destruction. And it's completely our fault. Mastiffs in general are a canine flex. They'll have you mad stiff. As in rigor mortis, the bull mastiff looks like a sweetheart that could genuinely bench press your family. The Neapolitan Mastiff was literally—
Okay, dude, what is wrong with its skin? This is disgusting. This thing should not be alive. Can they at least cut it and give it surgery?
Built on honey badger principles. Loose skin so that even when clamped, they can always turn around and face their problems. But it also makes them look like a victimized pizza pie, cheese sliding right off. But we can't forget the English
looks terrible.
Mastiff, one of the few dogs that could successfully maul a wolf. For reference, the beast from Sandlot was an English Mastiff, and the record for the heaviest dog is held by Ika Mazorba, an English stiffy weighing 343 pounds.
Oh my god, 340 pounds on a dog, bro, and most of it is muscle too. Probably still run faster than any human alive.
Of course, we can't forget my favorite Mastiff, and honestly dog, the Rottweiler. This Rizzo Hung is an easy attitude adjustment for any man that thinks he can whoop any dog. But one dog you would absolutely get worked by is— the Borbull is a massive 200-pound vibe check of a pet. They were bred as a South African farm dog to protect the home against threats like leopards and even baboons. Ironically, it's the baboons I'm impressed by. You see, there's a lot of stories about this farmer dog, aura, as the kids say. There's one story of a Borbull life-depriving 4 leopards in a row before losing to a 5th. Another story goes like this. The king of Albania gifted Alexander the Great a massive Borbull, but when Alex tried to get the dog to hunt, the dog seemingly refused, so Mr. Macedon did the sensible thing and murked the dog for insolence.
Oh my god.
Until the king said the dog wasn't lazy, just bored.
Man, y'all think politicians are cruel now. Back then, they would just straight just murder you, bro. If you had a disagreeing opinion, you couldn't even say it. Especially if it was like a kingdom or something. I feel like even in America back then, you probably couldn't say nothing, bro. I mean, we know for a fact if you were black, you definitely couldn't say anything. Like, they would have just been like, all right, get out of here. Even though there was freedom of speech here back then, freedom of speech just meant you're able to kind of talk and then you'll get punished.
And that these dogs were meant to hunt big game, like elephant big. So apparently they sent a replacement, and this Borbull won Alexander over after breaking a lion's back and forcing an elephant off a cliff. Do I believe it? Absolutely not, but it helps my narrative if I pretend I do. What is true is the same Borbull that squares up with big cats and baboons also has the personality of a weighted blanket, unless you threaten their family, in which case they'll put you in an ashtray. They're basically a guard dog that got promoted and invited out to hunts, which is actually the opposite of—
they low-key look like they just be chilling.
The Rhodesian Ridgeback might seem like a token pick, but hear me out. They're the
This looks like a nice dog.
Borbulls. They were so good at hunting, they eventually got promoted to guards. With a max weight of like 120 pounds, the Ridgeback is the lightest dog in this video. They get the nod because they were used to hunt lions, along with the usual suspects like wild pigs and baboons. Now I should probably explain, when I say hunt lions, I don't mean these dogs are out here giving Simba the belt to butt. There isn't a dog alive that can beat a lion. No dog exists that can 1v1 a bear, and pretty much all would get folded by a full-grown all-American Northwestern wolf. By hunting, really the Rhodesian Ridgebacks would bay the lions, not straight up attack them, but harass them, applying constant pressure until eventually the hunters showed up. The best way I can explain it is these wolves mobbing a black bear and basically escorting him away from their pups hidden in the grass. Rhodesians more so keep the lion in one place. which is arguably just as impressive. It takes a lot of intelligence to pin a predator 5 times your size, and yeah, Ridgebacks are creepily smart. Ask around, some will even say they're human. And that's a—
There's no way he plays chess. This might be a dumb IQ moment, a stupid moment. I don't know, but there's no way.
level of intelligence I'm not trying to deal with. One thing I do love is a dog that went against literal lions.
Yeah, dogs definitely know about human emotions and how to play this. Like, they'll make a pouty face like this when they're gonna get some food. A dog can eat like a full, nice, hefty meal and it's still hungry and wants some food, and then it's like, and then it just goes making his face after, and it's like, pugging and mugging or whatever. Like,
It's also mad sensitive. They do not respond well to harshness, and you unironically have to watch how you talk to them because they will take it personally. They're basically gifted teenagers. They're not for the discipline, so you better keep it positive. You know, I almost forgot
have a
to
dog called Doggo. It's kind of
mention the
funny.
Dogo Argentino. A mistake that would have been. Basically, a teenager in the 1920s unlocked free will and decided to create the best possible hunter dog. He took traits like the scent tracking of a pointer, the height of a Great Dane, the Tibetan Mastiff's calm temperament, and the boxer's overall athleticism, and crossbred them with the now extinct Cordoba fighting dog.
Damn, it's
Eventually, he
extinct?
created an Argentinian Mastiff, and to prove
It's crazy how like anybody can breed a dog breed. You could make a new one right now. You just take a bunch of dogs, just breed them together, and end up with a amalgamation.
strength, he pitted his dog against a wild boar and a mountain lion, gladiator style. Only the dog made it out. And I wouldn't even believe that if it wasn't for the story of Morocho, the Dogo Argentino, allegedly killing a puma to save his 2 human girls.
Wow.
Allegedly, because I'm not entirely sure it's true. I still can't see one soloing a healthy mountain lion, but the narrative has been set. So W Morocho. They might not be the biggest, but it's an explosive cannonball of a canine athlete that could overwhelm a grown man on the right day. They're tough enough to endure hours of trekking through rough terrain and still have enough juice to wrestle an animal 3 times its size. But if I ever saw this in an alley, my soul—
I mean, it's not surprising to me that a dog could be like another, what do you say, a wolf or something? Get a group of 3 dogs, they could probably take down maybe like a medium-sized monkey or something. They could take down like a medium-sized monkey, not like a gorilla.
would auto-connect to the Wi-Fi in the sky. Now that's real Bluetooth. By now, you probably recognize the pattern. If a dog was bred as a livestock guardian in the mountains, it's likely the last dog you ever want issues with. And that is everything the Central Asian Shepherd dog is. The CAS, or Alibi, is another LGD spawning from Central Asia, and one of the few dogs that could honestly be confused with a polar bear. And while most of the dogs here are a matter of speculation and my personal bias, with the symbol of canine country strength often weighing over
So
200
that's the dog we're
pounds,
getting.
a full-grown specimen motivated by malicious
Like, this is just crazy, bro.
intent would dismantle an able-bodied man. And as one of the oldest dogs,
What's gonna happen to us if like, what if like 1,000 of these dogs just like raided a city? What would we do? Yeah, we got guns and stuff, but like also you have to watch out for the civilians too.
humans didn't
They could
really do
cook us.
that much to breed them. They were honestly bred more by the harsh environment than anything. Just an overall unit of everything a dog can be, and likely the biggest dog most people have never heard of. Again, this isn't to demonize any breed in particular. I just figured the man versus dog thing gave me an excuse to talk about him, and I don't think I ever did make a dog video, so, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone and stuff. And if you're a man who thinks they can solo everything on this list, you got it. Don't take it too serious, although I
Yeah,
haven't
nah, I'm good.
made an animal versus animal video in a minute. Now there's an idea. Reminder that I have a book rating animals by how likely they are to murk you, and dogs are on there. Their rating might just surprise you, but that's gonna do it. Drink water, hug your mother.
Okay, that was a good video. Yeah, so I speak for all of us when I say, everybody watching this, y'all gonna beat that last dog. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna fight that last dog, and y'all gonna win. Me personally, I'm good. I'm gonna be cooling here, sitting at my setup. Also, sorry if I sound weird this video. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm kind of sick. So anyways, yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to join the Discord and watch the streams.
Subscribe to Tommy and FG.